Okay, so I got some shroom tea right here, but I don't know if I should. It's been 20 minutes. I'm gonna take a little swig, just a little swig. Mm. Mm. I guess that was good luck. I tasted a little bit, but since I turned 25, I've been thinking about being a woman, growing up, being a girl, stuff like that. And I just been thinking about why women and men are so fucked up, like royally fucked up, like, and it is the patriarchy, and it is all of those things because everybody's oppressed. And I heard this person on TikTok say, he was talking about how he realized that he can't be free as a man until women are free. Like he was saying, you know, I finally understand that I cannot be free unless the woman is free. But a lot of men are socialized to believe that they're going to give the woman freedom. They have to earn their freedom, and then they'll give the woman free. They'll rescue the woman. They'll save the woman. But the freedom is innate. It's it's your God given right, you know. But I was walking home, and I was thinking about how perverted the patriarchy makes the young male's mind. The patriarchy really pervert, and this is the thing, perversion causes a lot of other forms of abuse because the thought is perverted. So because the thought is perverted, it results in perverted action, cause and effect. It's not even that deep. A lot of times I find myself trying to over explain things and use big words and just say the same thing multiple times to reinforce the idea or the concept of what I'm saying, when what I'm saying is actually very simple. But again, as a people, we have been socialized to not understand common sense, and we think that the more a person speaks and the bigger words they use somehow means that what they're saying is of a higher importance. It's not. I read a lot of shit with a lot of big words. It's filler words. They're trying to make a word count. They're trying to meet the maximum. Or it's like for a dissertation or it's a paper. We we try to make informal shit formal. Too much. Way too much. So people will try to like write a college level paper for like a internet post. It's not that serious, but I'm getting off topic. It's quite simple. The patriarchy perverts the young man's mind, and through that perversion creates a laundry list of other perverted acts, because to lie and to manipulate and to oppress and to just have this dictator ass mentality in itself is perverted. Something's wrong. Something's wrong for you to have this grandiose ego and this huge sense of entitlement. That's already perverted. Something's wrong with you. Why do you think, like, what's wrong? Like, who told you this? Oh, society. You know, like, it's already perverted. But this is how it starts. Because I was thinking about this. I was thinking about how I started going out recently, right? Well, not recently. I'm 25, but I recently I've been going out around older people, people who are not 18 to 24. You know, sometimes I'm in places where I'm the youngest person. Sometimes I'm in places where, you know, the average is like 30 something, you know. So I this was the first time I found myself in a social situation with adults who are older than me. And I realized quickly that a lot of women there were viewing me as competition, and it confused me because I mean I'm young, so I felt like, girl, you grown and sexy. See, I'm a natural person. when I think of an attractive woman, I think of a grown, sexy, fully adult woman. I don't think of a fucking prepubescent teenager. I don't think of a. And similarly with a man, when I think of a grown, sexy man, I imagine a fully grown adult, not a prepubescent teenage boy, not even a 19, 20-year-old. I think of a 40-year-old man and a 40-year-old woman. That's what sexy means to me. I don't think of a 20-year-old as sexy. She might be cute. She might be fine. She might be cunty, but sex appeal is something you have to like really learn to walk in. It's not, a lot of people don't have sex appeal at 20. Some do. Some people do. Some people have it at 16, but a lot of the average person is not. The average 19-year-old is not sexy. So that's how I'm coming into these environments, like, well, you're grown and you're sexy, so we can't be on the same level anyway, because I'm still trying to get my foot in the door, you know? And quickly I realized these women were not being friendly to me. They were not acting like we were sisters. They were treating me like we were on equal playing ground. And I didn't understand it until I noticed that a lot of the men their age seem to be more interested in women like me. And I mean, I'm a little older, so I understand now it's not because I'm just the cutest bumblebee in the batch. No, it's just because I'm green and, you know, I'm young and fresh and stupid and naive. That's all it is. And young girls hate to hear that because it sounds like an insult, but it's the truth, baby. It's the truth. It's the truth. Because what impresses you at 20 is not going to impress a 30-year-old. It's not going to. And they know that. And you're going to think they're just the sweetest thing that can be. Meanwhile, the woman their age thinks he's a loser. And she's only with him for dick. But you're young and stupid and you think you're doing something. You think you getting one over. You think you're pulling the fast one. You think you just so bad and so irresistible and they just can't help themselves. And you gonna take them from her and da-da-da-da-da-da. The whole time she don't even like him. She dick. Just that's all he good for. You'll come to find that out. But anyways, yeah, I noticed that the men their age seem to take a liker to me and other younger women who were around. And because of that, that put us in the same playing category as these grown women. Now here's why this is wrong and perverted. You should like you. You should like you. You should like you. And the perversion and the pervertedness is not just the patriarchy, it's also slavery. Because black people not finding other black people attractive is the same. That's perverted. You should like you. Think about how much self-hate you have to look at a black woman as a black man and think, she's not, no, I need something mixed or something light or something. She's not attractive enough for me. She looks like you. What are you talking about? And vice versa with a black woman. How much could you hate yourself to look at a black man and think he's not attractive enough? I need a fucking Timothy Chalamet, whatever the fuck. You don't think that's crazy? He looks like you. So similarly with age, you should be attracted to what looks like you. If you're 20, you should like 20-year-olds. If you're 40, you should like 40-year-olds. If you're 10, you should like 10-year-olds. If you're 7, you should like 7-year-olds. If you're 62, you should like 62-year-olds. Now, I'm not saying that you cannot be attracted to somebody outside of your age range. That's ridiculous. Attractive is attractive. I was on the streetcar earlier today, and there was a little girl sitting in front of me. She had to be no older than like 6. She had to be no older than 6. And there was a man walking across the street. We're on the streetcar. We're on a train. It's a man walking across the street. He's kind of cute. I'm not going to lie. I'm looking at him. I'm just looking. I'm looking at him, but I noticed she's looking at him because as the streetcar is moving, she's still, turning around to look at him. And I literally was like, girl, he is cute. Like, I can't even lie. Like, girl, he cute. He cute. But my point is, she's 7 years old. She can understand he's attractive. That doesn't mean she should be actively trying to pursue a relationship with a grown man. And that doesn't mean that that grown man should be actively trying to pursue a relationship with the 7-year-old. That just means that the 7-year-old can acknowledge he looks good. Good looks good. Like, that doesn't, you know what I'm saying? But my point is, you should be attracted to your age. So as a grown man, yes, it is weird for you to like women significantly younger than you, and to only date women significantly younger than you, or to only take women serious who are significantly younger than you. That is weird. You can spin it like, that's the thing though, when you have like blunt conversations like this, people like to spin it into these webs of like, oh, but, and I just, and people my age are, and I the shut the fuck up. It's weird. You can't ignore it. You cannot ignore it. It looks weird for a man to be next to a girl, fuck woman, because she's 19, bitch, she's a girl. It's weird for a 60-year-old man to be with a 19-year-old girl. That is weird. And the fact that the women, the young girls will say, I'm not attracted to him, that is showing you that this is not because of love. This is not because of just, oh, blindness. No, this is because of other perverted reasons. I'm not going to talk about what the reasons are. I'm just saying it's a perversion. So I was thinking about how fucked up it is that older men don't like older women, because I feel like older men don't like older. I feel like older men don't like older women because they're women. I feel like the reason they do not like older women is because they are a woman. They are a fully conscious woman with sense and a brain and a mouth and respect in some form of dignity. And I feel like that's what they don't like. They like the innocence and the ignorance of young girls. They like that. That's the pervertedness. See, I'm not even going to talk about like children and no. The pervertedness is that you are attracted to their innocence. Like, you're attracted to their naivety. That's what you're attracted to. You're attracted to what they like, to the fact that you can manipulate them. That's perverted. You evil bastard. Like, something's wrong with you. Something's wrong with you. No, something's wrong with you. Something's wrong with you. You're attracted to the fact that you can manipulate them. That's why they'll go through a bunch of young bitches, because it ain't about the young bitch. It's just about the fact the bitch don't know no better. And that's why women keep telling young girls, you're not special, but don't nobody want to hear that. Don't nobody want to hear that. Girl, I didn't want to hear it neither. Oh my God, I didn't want to hear it. But you'll see. You see enough niggas run through a bunch. You'll see. Like, oh, y'all don't care. Like, y'all just do this. Like, this is just, you don't care. And you don't care who you hurt, who innocence you take, who heart you break. They don't care. Because you're just another vibe to them. But whatever. So that made me start thinking, like, damn, it's crazy how older men don't like older women. And how it kind of makes older women chase youth. Because if older men are attracted to youth, but I don't want to be with a younger man, I want to be with a man my age, well, let me try to portray a sense of youthfulness in order to, at least captivate a man in some kind of way. But then it made me think, but when I was a youth, they didn't like me either. Now, this is where the perversion starts. This is where the pervertedness starts as a kid. The patriarchy indoctrinates boys and they pervert their mind at a young age. What is something, when you think about young boys, what are young boys attracted to? What are young boys attracted to? What type of jokes are targeted to young boys, and what type of jokes do young boys make? What are young boys attracted to? Think. Do 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 Grown women. That's the answer. The answer is grown women. There is a countless. If I had the time, I'm telling you, if I had the time, if I wasn't so talented and so preoccupied with everything else in my life, if I had the time, I would write dissertations and I would do case studies, because there is so many forms of media I can point to making this specific joke about little boys liking grown women. They put this shit in TV. There's so many. I was watching the Bernie Mac show, which is one of my favorite shows. I love the Bernie Mac show. It's ahead of its time. 20 years ahead of its time. Great show, great writing, great directing, great acting. That's not the point. One of the episodes, Jordan, who is, I think, like 9 or 10 at the time, he's fantasizing about his aunt's titties. In the episode, he's fantasizing about his aunt's breasts. His aunt's, not even a woman, his aunt's, his titty. So he goes to school and he's daydreaming about breasts, about titties. And in the daydream, he's surrounded by grown women. And in the dream, he's groping a grown woman. This is the psychological perversion. This is a problem. This is a problem. This is a problem. If you don't think that it is weird to have a 7 to 9 year old boy on syndicated television touching grown woman titties, you don't think that's weird? That's because your mind is also perverted. It's also I know that sucks to hear, but your mind is perverted as well. Cause that's not okay to have a 7-year-old boy playing with titties on grown woman titties. So again, back to my question: what do little boys fantasize about, or what has been put in their mind? That's probably a better way to put it. What has been indoctrinated in their minds to fantasize about and be attracted to grown women? So when boys are boys, immature baby bitch ass boys, still crying for their mommy, sucking on titties, they're simultaneously fantasizing about grown woman titties. How is that possible? A child can't even see, and that's why they do it when you're young, because a child cannot conceptualize that. There's really no separation between your mother's breast and a grown woman's breast at the age of 7. You still see mommy titties. I don't care what you say. A 7-year-old, if you show a 7-year-old, a normal 7-year-old who has not had this indoctrinating program where he should be attracted to grown women, if you show a 7-year-old his mom's titties and another grown woman's titties, he should not have a sexual reaction to another grown woman's titties. He should look at that other grown woman's titties like his mother's titties. He should not be feeling like da-da-da-da. But even the fact that men will say shit like, I wish I was that baby on that titty, it's perverted. There's a pervertedness that don't nobody want to talk about, because that would mean everybody's perverted. And everybody is. I was watching a kid show, and the perverted shit they do on TV is disgusting. It's disgusting. And a lot of people don't notice it because we're all so perverted. I was watching a kid show and they started spraying whipped cream all over the person's face. It looked like nuts. It was a kid's show. And I was disgusted because it was out of context. It was inappropriate. And it didn't even fit the plot of the story. But that's my point. The indoctrination and the pervertedness of the patriarchy and just of society, it's everywhere. It's in every form of media, music, television, pictures. It's in your family. It's in the school systems. It's in the workplace. It's everywhere. It's all encompassing. You really can't escape it. It's everything. But from a youth, that's what I'm saying. Men are sitting here watching a baby suck on his mother's breast, saying, I wish I was that baby. And shut your bitch, man. Men are perverted, bro. They're perverted. And part of it is due to the patriarchy, media, society, socializing and socialization. But fuck, they are in control of socialization. It's them. So they're doing the social programming. They have a part of that in their mind. But as women, we knew that. And that's why we had temples where we would gather and we would share our secrets and we would talk about the pervertedness of them and about our own problems as well. But we were not unaware to the fact of who they were and what they could do. But because they've separated us and made us competition and told us that we're the enemy and that they have all the answers and they have all the money and we should trust them more than we trust our sisters, now we think that they are this amazing good guy that they're not. They all masquerade as these heroes. Like I'm telling you, they're oversized children. They act like they're these heroes, but all they do is cause chaos and then try to save the day of the mess they made. They made the mess. Men cause a mess in their life and then try to fix it and say they saved the day. Lock him up. Lock his ass up. Cause he like what? But take it back to the pervertedness and making little boys attracted to grown women. That is weird. And the fact that I even have to explain this should show how fucked up the mentality is and how invasive the perversion and the pervertedness is, that I have to explain that it is weird for a boy to be sexually attracted to a grown woman and to think that he can have a shot with a grown woman. You can, okay, again, like the little girl on the streetcar, you can think someone's attractive and think they're cute, but for you to really be trying to shoot your shot and think you have a chance with a grown woman, or to think it's normal for a little boy to fuck a grown woman because he just got so much game and he's so player, perverted. That's like, y'all are not normal. But to take it back to the little boy, right? So because the little boy has been socialized to be attracted to a grown woman, where does that leave the little girl? Because now the little girl is looking at herself and she's not a grown woman. Matter of fact, she's the furthest thing from a grown woman. And I was thinking about that. Like, a little girl and a grown woman have nothing in common. A little girl, a 5-year-old little girl, and a grown woman have nothing in common except for their biology. Except for the fact that they were assigned female at birth. Besides that, they have nothing in common. A little girl is not shaped like a grown woman. A little girl don't move like a grown woman. A little girl don't act like a grown woman. And vice versa. They have nothing in common besides their sex. That's it. So where does that leave the little girl who likes the little boy, but the little boy likes older women? That leaves the little girl still not feeling like enough. And now she's trying to what? Be mature, wear revealing clothes, put on all this, do all this shit to seem grown. But it's so funny because now that I'm grown, I'm looking back like there's nothing a teenager could do to look grown. Excuse me, there's nothing a kid could do to look grown. There's nothing a teenager could do to look grown. You just look like a teenager in revealing clothes. You just look like a kid with a lot of makeup on. You still, and you don't notice it until you grow past it and you look at a kid and you're like, fuck, are you 13? Like, you know? But you have perverted people who will entertain them and act like they don't know how old they are and they're so mature. So they have this, they continue on with this perverted way of thinking. But my point is, the patriarchy is evil. And it makes it so that women can never win. Women never. I noticed that too. And I'm going to wrap it up after this. But I have 2 points to make. In the beginning of the video, I talked about how older men like younger women. So that leaves older women with no options. Because the men their age want somebody younger. Okay. Younger boys like older women. So where does that leave the young women? Younger boys like older women. So where does that leave young girls? So do you see how at each stage in life, the women just don't win? Because that's what I was thinking. I was like, okay, so I'm going out. All these older men like me, but that's not even who I'm checking for. Like, that's not even who I want for real. And I was like, well, damn. when I was young, they didn't want me either. They wanted older women. So at each point, the woman, the girl to the woman is never enough. When she's a girl, she's not enough because she's innocent. She's naive. She don't know nothing because she's a girl. She's a virgin. She's a child. So she's not experienced enough, and she don't know anything, and she's not developed. She doesn't have breasts. She doesn't have titties. She doesn't have a shape. She's built like a boy. So he can't do nothing with her because she's not ready yet. And then once you're ready, once your titties come in, once your hips spread out a little bit, and you actually have the figure of a grown woman, they tell you that you're too old. And men, because they have, again, the patriarchy, it indoctrinates them to think that they are just right and that everything they're doing is justified and right. They run their whole life in circles, never understanding why they're happy. When you were a little boy, you was chasing something you couldn't have. Now you're a grown man, you chasing something you can't have. Never satisfied with what's in your face. Never grateful, never understanding, never gentle. Just take and disregard and disrespect and discard when you're finished, and wonder why you have no peace in your life. Why should you? Why should you lie to people and break hearts and steal innocence and think you should sleep peaceful at night, bitch? I don't understand what's wrong with y'all. Like, well, how do y'all think life works? Are y'all that stupid? That you, like, I don't understand. Why do y'all think y'all could just hurt people? Like y'all think y'all could just hurt people and then live life? And I'm talking about really live. Not like, oh, get some money and pay some bills and take some vacations. Everybody could do that. I'm talking about having peace of mind. Why do you think you deserve to have peace of mind after all the hell you caused people? All the lies, all the manipulation, all the deceit, all the pervertedness. Why do you think? You know, so it's like men dig their own, they bury themselves, and then they want women to come save them after they didn't put them through all that. You didn't put women through all of this. Was never good enough for you, discarded me, like discarded you, just, and then want to come and cry in a woman's lap. They're crazy. And this was just one aspect. This was just one aspect of the patriarchy, because it's the older I get, I just notice how all, like, I'm starting to see all the intersections of, like, the problems. Why is it like this, and why is it like that, and why can't we be friends? Why can't we all be friends? Why can't we be friends? Like, I don't understand. Why do you want to be weird and go chase a young girl 20 years younger than you? Why do you want to be weird and go chase an older woman 10, 15 years older than you? Why is it never, you know, why as women are we competing? Because it's crazy. Because the thing is, and this is the last thing I'm going to say, when you stop competing, you realize you ain't winning shit. But sometimes in the heat of the moment, in the heat of the game, in the heat of the passion, you actually think you're winning something. But you get that nigga, and you realize you lost. You lost. And I think as younger women, we should start listening. We should start listening to the older women who do have something to say. Because I even though, yeah, the women around me, you know, was treat me like competition and not, you know, whatever. There are women, and there have been women in my life who have tried to stop me and intervene and tell me, hey, you might want to think about this, or hey, that might not be the right decision, or hey, don't do that. There has been times where women have tried to help me and protect me, and out of my own ignorance, I ignored them. I thought I was special. I thought it was different. I thought they couldn't possibly know what I was going through. And I thought, you know, this is my life. And here I am wishing I would have just listened to their ass, you know? Like, oh, that's what you were talking about? Oh, yeah, didn't see that coming. I didn't see that, you know. So I think as young women, we do need to be more open to the advice, because they're not trying to keep all the dick to themselves. Oh my God, everybody's not jealous, and they're not trying to keep all the dick to themselves. Okay, some of them are really trying to help, and they know that niggas ain't shit, and they understand, even though they might not be able to sit and verbalize what I'm saying to you. A lot of older women, they understand this perverted nature, you know, and like I said, they might not be able to sit down and say this is what it is, or this is why this and that, but they understand that they operate in that way, and they'll try to tell, you know, especially really old, you know, this really, really old women, like grandmothers, they'll just tell you, like, girl, no, girl, don't mess with no man, because they know, and we laugh at them and we think it's a joke, but they know, and they done lived enough lives, and they done lived long enough to see what niggas do, and they trying to tell you that something's wrong with them. Am I talking about every man? No, but I'm talking about a damn good majority. Because I'm talking about a majority of women too. We all affected by patriarchy. We all are. I'm not pointing my finger. I am just observing. Observe. Use your eyes. Use this. Use it.